Her name literally translates to "the beautiful woman has come." And for thousands of years, this painted limestone bust has served as the definitive evidence, establishing Queen Nefertiti as the ancient world's ultimate icon of physical perfection. But when you look closely at that famous face, you'll notice a glaring historical anomaly. The left eye socket is entirely blank. Theories behind the missing eye range from the romantic to the mundane. Some believe the sculptor Thutmose fell in love with the queen and left the eye blank as a spiteful symbol of her inability to see his devotion. Others suggest the inlay was simply lost to accidental damage over the last 3 millennia. This singular, perfect face has become Nefertiti's entire historical identity, shrouding a much more complex and disruptive reality. To find that reality, researchers recently performed CT scans on the 3,400-year-old bust to analyze what exactly lies beneath its outer stucco. The scans reveal a hidden limestone core with distinct physical imperfections, a bumped ridge on the nose, wrinkles around the cheeks and mouth, and less depth at the corners of the eyelids. The royal sculptor used these layers to construct a piece of calculated state propaganda, prioritizing a divine, flawless image over an accurate likeness. If her physical image was an intentional construction, her historical reputation as a passive, beautiful wife may be an equally careful omission. The real Nefertiti was a ruthless political revolutionary. In 1353 BC, Nefertiti and her husband, Akhenaten, inherited an Egyptian empire at the absolute peak of its global prosperity. They immediately executed a radical strategy to consolidate absolute power. They outlawed the old gods, closed the ancient temples, and effectively bankrupted the traditional priesthood that had guided Egyptian life for centuries. In their place, the couple forced a new monotheistic religion, worshipping the sun god Aten. They then mandated that thousands of citizens relocate to Amarna, a brand new capital built in the middle of the desert. To centralize control, the royal couple declared themselves the only two earthly conduits to this new god. This was a highly calculated political power grab, designed to give the couple unchecked authority over the empire's wealth and its people. Nefertiti took on specific operational roles in this new regime. She held the rank of high priestess and commanded titles like Mistress of Upper and Lower Egypt, positioning her at the center of the royal court's daily functions. Contemporary Amarna artwork breaks deeply entrenched traditions to prove her status. These carvings present Nefertiti as a direct female conduit to the divine, performing the same sacred rituals and wearing a pharaoh's crown. Other illustrations depict her physically striking foreign prisoners, a violent role of military enforcement that had been reserved strictly for male pharaohs for over 1,000 years. Their rule eventually triggered a national crisis. The empire sank into massive debt and religious turmoil, and when Akhenaten died, Nefertiti vanished from all records after 16 years on the throne. The evidence points to a highly controversial co-ruler who helped drive the greatest empire on earth to the brink of total collapse. Nefertiti's immediate successors worked to permanently erase her legacy. They systematically destroyed the city of Amarna and chiseled her image out of monuments to wipe her disastrous rule from history. This destruction left modern archaeologists with a forensic puzzle. The search for her remains began in 1898, when 3 mystery mummies were discovered hidden behind a wall in the Valley of the Kings. Modern DNA investigations have only added to the mystery. 2010 tests identified this younger lady mummy as Akhenaten's sister, but in 2013, rival researchers claimed the body is actually Nefertiti herself. An alternate theory suggests she didn't die at all, but survived her husband to rule Egypt alone under the male moniker of Pharaoh Smenkhare. The intentional destruction of her records by her enemies has turned her life into an unsolvable 3,000-year-old missing persons case. While her body remains a mystery, the physical fragments of her image have become geopolitical prizes. In 1912, a German team removed the famous bust from Egypt under a legally questionable excavation license. During World War II, the bust was seized by the Nazis. Adolf Hitler became personally obsessed with the artifact, famously stating that he would never relinquish the head of the Queen. American troops eventually recovered the bust from a salt mine, and it currently sits in Berlin's Neues Museum. The Egyptian government considers the statue looted property and continues to fight for its return. Nefertiti was such a disruptive force of power that millennia after her own people tried to erase her, modern nations are still fighting for control of the illusion she left behind.